You're doing everything right. You're going to bed at a reasonable time. You've stopped scrolling. You've tried melatonin, magnesium, and a sleep podcast hosted by some guy who speaks like a sentient fern. And yet, you still wake up feeling like you've been hit by the dream bus. Here's the thing. There are 3 invisible forces that control your sleep. Most people don't even know they exist. And if even one of them gets out of sync, well, you're toast. So let's become more aware together. Picture this. You're trying to cross a rickety rope bridge. It's pitch black. Below, a canyon of exhaustion. On the other side, morning. Energy, mental clarity, and maybe even sunshine and rainbows. But as you step forward, the bridge creaks. You look down, and some of the planks are missing. That's what your sleep feels like when one of these 3 forces is off. You can get across the night, but it's clumsy, unpredictable, and a little terrifying. So what are the missing planks? Most people only ever find one, but all 3 need to be working together to carry you from night to day. Let's find out what they are together, but we'll start where most people do. You know that delicious wave of sleepiness that hits at the end of a long day? That's not random. It's not the chamomile or the sleepy time tea or even the sleepy time bear. That's something called your homeostatic sleep drive, and it's the first force that gets you across that bridge. Think of it like pressure building in a balloon. The longer you're awake, the more the air gets pumped in. Your brain keeps track of every second you spend vertical. Eventually, it gets the message, okay, we're full. It's sleep time. There's actually a brain chemical behind this. It's called adenosine. It builds up in your brain all day, pushing you towards sleep. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine. So that 4 p.m. iced coffee, yeah, that's like putting duct tape over your brain's tired signal. And I've had many patients who fit this profile. For example, you don't fall asleep until 2 a.m. most nights. Turns out maybe you take a quick 90-minute nap after work. Well, what does that do? It kills your sleep drive. With my patients, once we've shortened the nap or taken the nap out altogether, that sleep pressure returns and you're able to fall asleep much earlier when you want to. So yes, sleepiness builds naturally, but it's shockingly easy to leak that away. And this is only the first force. Let's say your sleep drive is all good to go. The balloon's full, you're tired, but for some reason, your body feels wired, or worse, alert. That's because sleepiness isn't the only thing that matters. You also need your body's internal clock to agree with that. Enter the circadian rhythm, your internal 24-hour timer. It controls your energy levels, your hormone release, even your body temperature. It doesn't care what time your meeting is tomorrow. It only cares about light. Your circadian rhythm is governed by a little part of your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. That's a lot to say. Basically, it's your master clock. And it takes cues from light, not from logic. A 2021 study in the journal Sleep Health found that people who got at least 30 minutes of outdoor light before noon had significantly better sleep quality. But the ones who skipped that morning light, their sleep drifted later, even if they were trying to go to bed early. And maybe this profile fits your experience. You're not sure why your bedtime keeps creeping later. Maybe you work from home, waking up whenever, and never getting outside until the late afternoon. Try something like starting with morning walks, even just 10 minutes, and that can stop the drift. This helps to re-anchor your circadian rhythm. Ever felt tired and wired at the same time during bedtime? That's these 2 forces in a slap fight. And we've still got one more. Let's say you've got good sleep pressure. Your internal clock is timed beautifully. You should be asleep, but your brain is throwing a rave. This is the third force, your arousal state, or put simply, how relaxed or revved up you are. It's like trying to land a plane, but the runway is covered in squirrels. Stress, anxiety, caffeine, racing thoughts, they all keep your brain in go mode. Even if you've got the right ingredients for sleep, this force acts like the club bouncer. And if you're too amped up, well, you're not getting in. Here's a wild fact. Your brain has something called a wake switch. And stress can flip it on even when the other system is saying, let's go to bed. A classic study from 2004 found that just thinking about stressful events increased cortisol levels to the point where people took up to 30 minutes longer to fall asleep. And maybe this scenario fits your life. I've worked with many people who have perfect sleep drive and circadian rhythm, but still can't fall asleep to 3 a.m. If this is you, notice how your nervous system is being activated before bed. For example, maybe you're doing to-do lists in bed. Maybe you're watching TV in bed or reading that exciting novel. With all of these types of scenarios with my patients, once we remove the activating habit and add a relaxation cue, such as deep breathing, the arousal system finally gets the memo that it's time to land the plane. This is why you can feel exhausted, but still not sleep. So let's review. Force 1, homeostatic sleep drive, the pressure that builds the longer you're awake. Force 2, circadian rhythm, your internal clock synced to light and time cues. Force 3, arousal and relaxation states, your nervous system's ability to wind down. These are what I like to call the 3 pillars of sleep. But more than that, they're planks along your bridge. Even if one is wobbly, even if one is cracking, the whole thing feels unstable. But when they're in sync, sleep stops being a mystery. It becomes a rhythm, a flow, a quiet confidence that your body knows how to get from night to day. So if your sleep still isn't clicking, don't just blame bad sleep. Ask yourself, which of these 3 forces might be off kilter? So, what do you do with this? Here's a start. Wake up at the same time every day. Yes, even on weekends. That keeps your sleep drive strong. Get bright light in the morning and dim light at night. That resets your circadian rhythm. And give your brain a soft landing. Avoid late caffeine. Wind down gradually, and don't try to force sleep. Because you don't need hacks. You need harmony between the forces that are already inside you. The bridge is already there. We're just putting the planks back in place. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos on sleep, stress, and the wild ways that our minds and our bodies connect. And remember, sleep isn't just something you do. It's something that you can understand. So let's become more aware together, one step at a time.